After 2 weeks of grinding araxxor, time to get myself those tier 99 prayers. $525 mil? What the? How's it going, guys? You ever felt like you've just not got enough money? Like it's just not enough to buy those tier 99 prayers that you wanted, or the Staff of Siliske, and then you look at your coin pouch and you scroll down and you see, oh, 161 mil. Well, I'm not too far off, for God's sake. Well, today I'm going to go over 10 ways that you can increase your bank size, and let's start off with mining. So the first method we're going to be looking at is mining runite ore. This can bag you up to 1 mil per hour, and it's pretty AFK after the mining and smithing rework. Now you'll need level 50 mining to be able to do this, and access to the mining guild in Falador. So to get up to level 50 mining, I would recommend first getting the requirements to mine iron, and then mining that all the way to 50. Mining iron can get you 750,000 gold per hour, so it's quite comparable to this. Now once you're here, there's plenty of rune rocks around, but it doesn't matter too much anymore. It's more based on just looking for the rock of opportunity. Now whenever they glow, if you're paying attention, you might as well click it, but if you want into AFK, you can still just AFK like this and you'll probably make maybe 100k less an hour. If you bring an Elder Rune ore box, you can use these no matter what level you are. So if you get one of these to begin with anyway, you can put 120 ores into this before you need to bank. Now to bank, I'd recommend probably using a Luck of the Dwarves or a Ring of Fortune if you have one. If not, just use a Ring of Wealth, teleport to the Grand Exchange, put your stuff in the bank, and then teleport back here through the Falador Lodestone. If you have access to a Lava Titan pouch, I'd suggest using one of these, as it can help boost the amount of ores you're going to get per hour. Also, you could buy off the Grand Exchange a Perfect Juju mining potion. That will also help increase your profit per hour. Experience wise, you can probably expect around about 180,000 experience an hour. That's based on level 99 mining, and will change the lower level you are. So the next method I wanted to go over was tanning dragonhide. You can make profit off pretty much any dragonhide at the moment, but for now, royal dragonhide is the best profit that I could find today. So just double check them, the margins on them, before you start crafting these, just in case there's better. So basically, the best way to do it is to join a friends chat called Portables, and once you're in that friends chat, you can ask where a crafter is, and they'll tell you which world it is, and you can go there and join into that and just use someone else's portables. But just for this video, I'm just going to place my own down and show you the difference in price just from doing one inventory, and then we'll get a price check at the end. So it's 128,466 originally. We just pop this down. That lasts 5 minutes, and we click on this, click tan, and it's instant. You don't have to wait for it. 138,645. So now all you do is go to your bank, put them away, take out another full inventory, click on that, click tan, click on your bank, put them away, take them out. You get the picture. You're basically going to be doing this, carrying it on until you've used up all your leathers that you can do, and then sell them on as the leathers. So there's a limit of 10,000 dragon hides, so it's a good idea to maybe buy them in bulk before you plan on doing this, because as you see, it is really click intensive and it does go through them quite quick, as I'm done now. So I suggest buying up bulk if you're going to sit down and do this, and then do it, make your profit, and probably take a break from it and do something a little bit less click intensive. So this can be about 1.5 mil an hour depending on what dragon hide you're using and what margins are at, but just double check that before you start doing it. Don't take my word on it, but it is definitely a good profit maker. It's just down to the click intensiveness, whether that suits you or not. So this money making method is going to be focused more on the lower skill level players. You are going to need 45 fletching for this. We're going to be fletching maple logs into arrow shafts. So I'll just do a quick price check just so we can see what we start with. We start with 2,436 and that's for 28 logs. So if I just start this off now. So we turn each log into 30 separate arrow shafts, and by the end of it we'll end up with 840 arrow shafts. Now that equals around about 9,000 gold depending on what they sell for. So you do get a decent amount of experience for this while you're leveling up your fletching. At 45 it's going to be okay, but as you get higher up it's just going to seem slow. However, this is only a mid-level money making method, and I'd only recommend it if you're just trying to build up so you can put a bit of money into something else. So other than that, I'd say do this until you've got a bit of cash, find something that's better for yourselves and work on that. So to get to the Dark Beasts, we're going to be using a Crystal Teleport Seed after the Temple of Light quest and teleporting straight there. And when we arrive, we just run east up here, follow the path round, and then when you come to the end of this tunnel, you come into a big open area. You're going to want to follow that upwards, as you can see on my mini map there. Just ignore anything that attacks you for now. There's this little room in the top here in the northeast corner. Once you arrive in this room, there's just lots of Dark Beasts in here. Now, Dark Beasts are aggressive initially, but when that runs out, it's a good idea to just pop on a aggression scrimshaw. You can run off and reset it and come back. That just makes it a little bit less AFK, so I prefer to do it this way. Now, the way I have my abilities set up is it's set up in a way that my legendary pet will have enough time between each kill to reset its cooldown to be able to go and loot the next item. I've done this on purpose just to make it more AFK for myself. However, if you're more willing to just use the area loot and just kill as many as you can as quickly as you can, that will increase your profit per hour. However, it will be less AFK for you. Now, if you do have a legendary pet, I would highly recommend having it set up the way I have, and then you'll have time for your pet to loop between each, and it'll pick up pretty much everything except for the talismans, runes, and your arrows. The reason that you don't want it to pick up your arrows and the talisman and the runes is just because you don't want it to take those over the top of something else that's more valuable, which it will do. The arrows will be picked up usually before things like a Serenic Scale, for example, just speaking about that as we get one. So that's the main reason we're going to be coming here, is to pick up the Serenic Scales. So it's a good idea to set your loot beam options in your settings to about 100k, just so you don't miss anything worth value. The other great reasons to come to this spot and just AFK is the rune salvage that they drop. They drop a lot of rune salvage, which is why I've brought magic note paper as well, so we can just note those up every time we get them, and it just creates a big stack in the inventory. The herb drops all add up as well. They have a lot of stackable drops because the herbs are noted, they all stack in your inventory, and they drop a lot of valuable seeds. So if you stay here for hours and hours, you can end up leaving with just a big massive inventory worth of just herbs and seeds and everything. So you can expect probably between 1 and 2 Serenic Scales per hour, possibly. That's if you're wearing the Luck of the Dwarves, which I'm not wearing it, but there we go. Obviously, the other drops are all going to add up as well, and I find that I get between 1 and 2 mil an hour. It all depends on those Serenic Scales. So in this method, guys, we're going to be looking at the incense sticks, the Lantadine one specifically. The others do have margins as well that are quite profitable, but at the moment this is the best one that I've found. Maybe just check them before you actually start processing them and just see if there's a bigger margin for you. Now, what we're going to do is be buying the raw materials off of the Grand Exchange and processing them through to sell the final product. To buy the raw materials needed to create one Lantadine incense stick cost me 8.6k, and that was an insta buy. Now, once we've processed these together, it does take a little while to do them, which makes it extremely AFK, so it's actually not a negative thing about it. You can sell these on for 16,000 GP, all the way up to 16.5, depending on what the market's doing at the moment. So with my testing, I've been able to make between 400 and 450 of these incense sticks per hour, and that's depending on how efficient I've been being. So setting up my bank presets ready, and just not slacking off and just paying attention to when the time is about to expire. Obviously you can do it a lot more AFK, but you might just miss a few seconds either side. It won't make too big of a difference, but if you can process 300 of these just on taking your time, then that'll give you a profit of 2.4 million per hour, and that's just doing 300. So if you were able to go on to 400, even 450, then you'll be able to profit up to about 3.5 million GP per hour. That's assuming that all your margins are at the max they could be, being you've bought them for about 8.6k, maybe you do a slow buy and buy them for 8.5k, and then you're selling them at 16.5k. So this method will grant you 24,300 fire making experience per hour and 30,000 prayer experience per hour, assuming you're only making 300 sticks. You can definitely go over 300 sticks, so you'll be able to get a bit of a better experience rate than that, but I'm just putting that at a bit of a lower value for you, just so you can not always be there paying attention, and you can just sort of take your time with it, but it's still a decent money making method, and it's still slightly good experience, especially since it's profitable prayer experience for you. So in this method we're going to be taking a look at divination. Now there's no requirements to make 2 mil an hour from this method, however the safest method does require 95 divination. So you can make between 1 mil and 2 mil an hour, it all depends on what method you choose. So the first one is the one that requires 95 divination, and that's Incandescent Wisps. So what you're going to be doing is collecting the memories from the wisp and then taking them to drop them off and convert them into energies. Now collecting the energies from here can net you up to about 1.3 mil an hour, maybe 1 mil an hour if you're not paying too much attention. So that's quite a decent amount, but it does require 95 divination, which is a bit of a grind to get to, as you'll all know, I'm sure. So the second part of this method doesn't actually have any requirements, but it is based in level 25 wilderness, and it's going to be the Cursed Wisps. So when you get here, it's in the volcano crater. Just start collecting from the wisps and take your memories to the center and convert them into energies. Now, energies and memories are going to stop you from being able to teleport. However, don't worry too much about that. Your main focus is going to be watching your screen to make sure PKers don't kill you. Now, if you see a PKer come in, you're not in combat, so you can either quickly log out or run off and hope to kill someone else and then leave. You can't teleport, as I said before, with this on. Don't run south and don't try and teleport away. Now you can see in this video that I've brought with me a Nightmare Moose-staff. So what's good about this is it's going to convert memories directly into energy as well as store more memories in its inventory for you. So this is going to save you time converting more memories at the rift into energy. However, you are still going to fill up on memories at the same time. So pay attention to PKers, as they're going to want to kill you and take your energies. I'd bank fairly regularly, but not too often that it's going to be wasting your time. Once you've done collecting your energy, you're going to want to run south and exit the wilderness, and then once you've exited there, you're going to want to go to World 2 and find players that are selling and buying the energy, and you want to sell them onto there. Check on the forums before you sell to just double check at the correct selling prices. Some people might try and make you sell it to them a little bit too cheap, so it's a good idea to just double check that you're not getting ripped off. So this method is going to be smithing cannonballs, and I'm sure you've already figured that out by looking at it, and I know everyone says to smith cannonballs in the guides, but there's a reason. It's 6 minutes of AFK time. Now, you can get 600k an hour if you do this with the Moritana Legs 2 at Pause Phasphamies, but with this it's about 300k an hour. Now, I know that's a little low, but if you can get those Moritana Legs, it's worth doing. All you have to do is go to a furnace, dump your bars into there, select on the metals that you want in, click the cannonballs and press begin project. Now you're AFK for 6 minutes. So even at 300k an hour, just like the arrow shafts, it's a good way to start building up your bank, especially if you're like at work and you can just do 300k, 300k, 300k over and over again, because it is so long of AFK, it's just worth putting it in here. So the requirements to do this is 35 smithing and the dwarf cannon quest. and the reason you need the Dwarf Cannon quest is so you can get the ammo mold to be able to make the cannonballs. Other than that, it's easy enough requirements to get, and like I say, it's just a good amount of income, especially if you have the Moritana legs too. 600k an hour for 6 minutes AFK is just absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention, if you brought 10,000 steel bars here, for example, dump them all into the furnace, you don't have to leave. You can just stay here all day, forever. You can just stay here, you can live here. You could literally make an alt, sit him here, and have him making cannonballs 24/7. Like, it's just think of the money. So next is AFK Increo. Now, you're going to need at least 92 prayer to do this, so you can have soul split. 95 is recommended though. Also, I'd recommend at least having tier 90 weapons, be it a Nox bow or Ascension crossbows, and at least Pernix armor, I'd say. So, following that, if you just enter the room after getting your kill count, and then pot up and get ready to go into the boss room, and then when you're in, put yourself in the corner that you can see me going into on the screen now, and then once you're there, make sure that your thresholds are on the beginning of your revolution action bar, and then your character will use them automatically. Now, watch the first couple of kills because you're starting with no adrenaline. Also, if you have a vampirism aura, I'd recommend putting that on as well. So, once you've got past the first couple of kills and you can see that your character is going to be fine, all you need to do now is just pay attention for your overload timers, watch your prayer points because it will still drop slowly, and also I'd recommend just keeping an eye on it just so you don't miss those loots, because that's what you've come for anyway. Following on from the AFK Increo, I just want to point out that it's not all AFK for RuneScape Mobile. You can still do bossing. So I'm going to put up a clip of me doing next, and I just highly recommend that you guys try doing the bossing as well, rather than just looking for AFK reasons. So if you're going to be only playing on mobile at the moment because say you're on the way to work but you're sat in the bus for half an hour to an hour or something, now if you can get a good enough connection, say if you've got 4G, you can still do Nex. So with a bit of practice you can make a hell of a lot more money than AFK and any of these other methods by just doing Nex on your mobile phone, which is definitely possible, as you can see. So the final method that I wanted to go over was flipping. And now, I know it's easy to say, yeah, you should flip items and you can make some money, but really you should flip items and you should make some money. Like, I'll make a separate video on a flipping guide, but I just recommend just getting into this and giving it a go and just trying it out. It's not too hard to get into flipping. You don't need much money. You don't need 160 mil that I've got there. You could literally start flipping with like 100k, really. You really could. And I'll just show you with this, just for one quick example of how to find a margin on an item. Rocktail might not be very good, but you put an offer in for one of the items, just put one, put your price up, it doesn't matter how high you go, just put your price up and buy it instantly. Now once that's bought, check your price, you bought it for 1,543 GP. So someone is going to be wanting to buy those at 1,543 GP. People who are going bossing and have run out of rocktails, they're halfway through a next instance, don't want to waste it, and they've gone, crap, I've not got any food, I'm going to go to the rent exchange quickly and buy some. They're going to put this in and they're going to put a max offer in. Right, so now we've gone over that, take your rocktail, put it back in the grand exchange, drop the price down, and confirm that, and instant sell it. 1,536 GP. So there was a 7 GP margin. I know that doesn't sound amazing, but if you can flip 10,000 of them in 10-15 minutes, that's 70k you've made with nearly no effort whatsoever. It took you 2 minutes to put the offer in. You can go and do a few next kills or do another part of this video's money making methods, make a bit more cash. But while you're doing that, you're going to be making passive income on your flips. So it's worth doing. I'm not going to go over loads of items and just give them all away. Go through the grand exchange, think about what's going to be a good item. You'll get this in practice. It's not something that you can just ask someone, or tell me this and tell me that, because you're not going to learn how to find a good item. So go on to grand exchange, search through stuff, check the margins, and if you find something good, then flip it and try it. So that's the end of the video, guys. I hope that you've found some ideas in here that you can take away and put into practice. I just want to be able to help you guys get some ideas where you can make some money and progress to those end goals that you're after. Now, if you don't use RuneScape Mobile at the moment, but you have access to it, get on it. It's so good for making some money while you're not sat at your computer, or you're too busy. Say if you're on the bus going to work or something like that, or going to school or anything. If you're just not on your computer, you don't have access to it, but you can carry your phone with you, just get on there, do a bit of AFK, and just make some more money, keep it going. I also hope that I've sort of made a point that RuneScape Mobile is not just for AFK in this video. You can do bossing on it, and you can do everything else like flipping and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's not that bad of a client. It's actually quite good. I quite enjoy it. It's more of a challenge to do bosses sometimes when you've got to scroll through all your action bars and stuff. So just give it a go, see if you enjoy it at least. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments ways that you'd like to see me improve and stuff. I'm still working on the audio thing. I know the recordings and my voice isn't exactly perfect. I am working on that. I promise you we will get there. So just let me know what you think. Any suggestions, anything like that. I'd love to hear from you. Try and be my first commenter. That's what I'd love. Give me my first commenter. Anyway, thanks guys. See you later.